Python lists versus tuples. Today we'll talk about lists and tuples, mutability, functions and methods, tuples and lists in each other, nested tuples and lists, and use cases. A list is a container for values of one or more kinds. Python does not have arrays, but the array module does simulate them. Let's create a list with three values, red, green, and blue. Let's call this colors. Days is another list with weekdays represented variously. Language is a list with values Romanian, Spanish, and three sublists with the values English, Gujarati, and Hindi. We can access a single value by indexing using square brackets. Indexing begins at 0. The first item is a list 2. Tuples. They are like lists but immutable. We have a tuple of 2 integers and 1 string. We can reassign it to hold this tuple 4, 5, 6. This statement unpacks the tuple and stores the individual values into the variables a, b, and c. If we print all of this, numbers is the tuple 4, 5, 6, a, b, and c are the values 4, 5, and 6, and numbers is of the class tuple. If we import the time module and print the local time, it gives us a tuple of date-related values. What's the second element in numbers? 5. Let's slice it to find the items from the beginning to the first item from the end. 4 and 5. We can also delete tuples. Now when we print this, a name error is raised. Numbers no longer exist. Lists are mutable. It would be inconvenient if you defined them and then could not make any changes to them. But we can. List 1 has 8 items. Let's change the second element to 3. Successful. Now if we assign an entirely new list to this name, list 1 is now this new list. We can also delete an element or print a slice with the fourth element and a head. This is a list nums and a slice with the second and third elements. To this slice, we reassign this list. Nums is now this. It replaces the values 3 and 4 with the values 6, 7, and 8. And if you delete a list, accessing it raises a name error. Unlike lists, tuples are immutable. This is my tuple. Let's reassign the second element to 3. Nope, not possible. We can also assign tuples without parentheses, but for that it must have at least 2 values. Again, can we alter tuples? This slice gives us 5 and 6. And if we delete it, nope, can't do it. Delete a single element? Can't do it either. Obviously then we cannot delete the entire tuple either. Lists and tuples share some functions. You can call the max function on lists and on tuples. Same with the index and count methods. The index method returns the index of the first occurrence of a value in the list or tuple, and the count function returns the number of occurrences. Tuples can also belong to a list, and lists can belong to a tuple. You can do anything you want. You can also put tuples in tuples. This one contains tuples which contain more tuples, and so on. To access the value 8, we index it 5 times since it's 5 levels deep. And similarly with lists, this one has lists within a list. The value 5 here is 3 levels deep. So lists are mutable and tuples are not. Is that all? Well, lists are good for creating homogeneous collections and tuples for the heterogeneous ones. Lists are dynamic in nature and can be extended, reassigned, deleted, and so on. Tuples are immutable and fixed in size. They are stored in a single block of memory. This means lists are slower than tuples. Lists cannot be used as dictionary keys since they're mutable. Tuples make a good choice for this one. Now you know two powerful tools and when to use which.